The China-U.S. relationship continues to come under strain over the trade conflict. As a key figure who is trying to help both countries out of the darkness, Cui Tiankai, Chinese ambassador to the United States, said he's confused as to who has President Trump's ear on trade policy.
Are you clear who President Trump listens to on trade issues, whether it's moderates like Kudlow and Mnuchin or hardliners like Navarro?
You tell me.
Washington announced last month it would levy a new round of tariffs on $200 billion in Chinese goods, triggering Beijing to respond with tariffs on $60 billion of American products. At the same time, China is not the only victim of trade war waged by America. Cui said ambassadors from other countries also share the same problem.
Presumably, the president will take the final decision. But who is playing what role? Sometimes it could be very confusing.
Cui was also asked about a hostile speech against China by U.S. Vice President Mike Pence earlier this month. The Chinese ambassador dismissed Pence's accusation that China is interfering in U.S. elections.
I have to say, all these accusations are groundless. One of the fundamental principles in China's foreign policy is non-interference in the internal affairs of other countries. And we have been consistent in this position. We have a very good track record.
Pence asserted in a speech that China is stealing intellectual property and forcing technology transfers. Cui called those comments baseless and not fair to the Chinese people.
It would be hard to imagine that 1/5 of the global population could develop and prosper not by relying mainly on their own efforts, but by stealing or forcing some transfer of technology from others. That's impossible. Through the bilateral trade between China and the United States, you know how much benefit American consumers have got over the years, and how much money American companies have made from their operation in China. You have to look at the whole picture.
Military tensions in the South China Sea also further escalated tensions. Earlier this month, there was nearly a collision during the standoff between China and the U.S. warships.
You were right to say it was in South China Sea. So it's at China's doorstep. It's not Chinese warships that are going to the coast of California or to the Gulf of Mexico. It's so close to the Chinese islands and so close to the Chinese coast. So who is on the offensive? Who is on the defensive? This is very clear.
Chinese President Xi Jinping and his U.S. counterpart are expected to meet at next month's G20 summit, which would be the first direct talks since August. Cui said such top-level communication plays a key role in guiding the relations forward.
And there is a good mutual understanding and good working relationship between the two. I hope and I'm sure this will continue.
Yang Zhou, CGTN.